So I want to take a few minutes this morning to talk about Southeastern's new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Guide, or EDI guidebook. And I thought this was a good forum to share this because of the nature of the conference and the work that we've been doing with this. So this guide was created for Southeastern as an organization to incorporate the principles of equity, diversity, and inclusion into our internal practices, as well as our programs and services. It was created by a team of people who worked together for a whole year. And then it was approved by the Board of Trustees in January, and it's posted on our website. So I'm going to show you that in a second. Our work started when we formed this EDI group, which is formed of staff, trustees, and members to implement the goals that we have in our strategic plan related to EDI. So Carolyn and Moshe from the staff were involved with it, along with myself. At the same time, we had an EDI. Is everything okay on the screen? Is it good? Okay. At the same, because this is interesting trying to do this, and like many, I feel like I'm on TV. At the same time, we had an equity, diversity, and inclusion special interest group that some of you may have attended that Carolyn started, is an EDI SIG that met regularly. I think they started in the summer of 2020. And so we tapped some of the talent in that group to be part of the committee. So we knew that we wanted to do something when we started, but we kind of had a blank slate. We didn't know, we had the statement from the strategic plan, but we weren't really sure where we wanted to go. The task felt overwhelming, and we wanted to do everything, and we wanted to make all the change all at once. So that's where you have a lot of conversations when you get started. So we didn't start out with the idea of a guide. It took us some time to get to that place. And along the way, we consulted with Dr. Kawana Bright, who spent an entire day with us and helped us develop some resulting statements related to our commitments. If you don't know of her work, Dr. Bright is a library professor and a consultant specializing in planning and assessment mostly related to equity. She's given many programs for us and other library systems in New York. So there's lots of webinars out there, and I'll talk about one of them in a minute. So the guide starts with an explanation of the purpose of the document. So we wanted this to be a place to check whenever we thought about doing something new. And we also wanted to be a model for other organizations. So this is taken straight from the guide. And this is the only slide I kind of snipped from the guide to share with you. So it's meant to be an initial starting point for future projects here at Southeastern. It's also a foundational document for a new EDI committee that we're going to start. So the committee will be given this document to work with. We also have in this document a checklist for programs and services, a lot for accessibility. And it's just an idea the document is a place to gather all of the ideas in one place, kind of for clarity. We wanted to make sure we had something tangible that you could hold on to for staff members and trustees to reference. And we also wanted to be a model. We wanted to be used by other organizations if they choose to do so. This is how we decided to do this, and we're putting it out there for people to use if they want to or not. All right, I am going to attempt to switch to the website right now. Let's see. And Carolyn showed me how to do this a minute ago. All right, there we go. So this is did it change? There you go. All right, so this is our website and the page with the guide, and it's not loading. The guidebook is right there. I think we're overtaxing our internet today, maybe, which is why it's not loading on this computer. All right, I'll go back to my presentation. And this slide, this is the cover of the guidebook. This is exactly what it looks like on the website. You're just not going to get to see me scroll through it. We're going to look at this slide some more. Because that's what I was going to do. So the guide, or two parts to this guide. The first half of the guide has the EDI statement, our values, and our definitions in there. This is the foundational aspect that supports what we want to accomplish with our library services. The rest of the guide discusses how we will start doing the work internally and for our members. So a few examples of the internal changes involve supporting staff development. We were asking all of our staff to be involved in EDI. You need to give your staff time to go and learn some new things and do some things differently. So that was kind of an internal thing that we're working on. The second internal thing that we're working on is policies. We've changed a lot of policies here. We have a new civil rights policy. We have a lot of policies posted on our website that people can borrow if they want to. We have an anti-discrimination policy. We have the codes of conduct type policies. So all the public facing ones are on our website now for people to see, and some of them are new based on this work. And they're a lot about protections. That's what they are for people. So you may or may not know our primary service areas. Thanks to Brenda's presentation, you have a better picture for all that we do if you didn't know it already. But we have 4 primary areas: resource sharing, professional development, hospital library services, and digitization. So there's 4 librarians here, each responsible for those. So Kelsey's resource sharing, Carolyn's professional development, Jennifer's digitization, and Sarah, who's also managing the Zoom upstairs, as our hospital library services coordinator. Each of these service areas have a librarian responsible for that work that I just told you about. They also have an advisory committee. So there's an advisory committee behind that as well. So in this guide, they have bullet points of all the things that we would like them to accomplish as well related to EDI. And the one example that I want to give you is for hospital library services. Sarah doesn't know I'm talking about this one, so I'm putting it out there, but it's in the guide for our hospital library services that we will, hopefully, our recommendation is to ensure that hospital library collections include resources that enable medical staff to equitably and inclusively care for the health of underserved populations in their communities. So that gives you an example of one of the statements we have in there for one of the recommendations for making some change and making some improvements. We've also started some new initiatives. This year, we have a program with Dr. Bright, again, to provide consulting for Southeastern members who wish to access their services and make some organizational changes. So we hired her to consult with members to do some of this work themselves. And so we had an application process. We took applications from members. They applied. Now she's evaluating them. And then they will get individual time with her to work through their own, kind of like we did, to work through anything that they want to at their organizations. She also hosted 2 webinars for us on this topic. And Jen's putting that in the chat, and we can make those available to you. They're up on YouTube, and she did those in February, and they were great. Okay, the committee felt strongly that we get the word out about this guide. I am the spokesperson for this work. We had a committee of 10, and we really want to make sure we share this at as many events as possible. They really felt strongly this document could be a model for other library systems or other libraries. And I want to thank all the people you see listed here who were on the committee and acknowledge their contributions to Southeastern membership by creating this important document. So I want to thank you for your time. Please take a look. It's 10 pages long. You're all going to have the link. I think it's a pretty easy read. I reread it yesterday. I was like, this is good. I'm really proud of what we did with this. I'm proud of the committee. They started literally with a statement from our strategic plan and said, go make this into something. And they did it. And I'm really, really pleased. We have a lot of work to do. This is the starting place. So with that, I am done.